So welcome everybody to this 30-minute session, which is an introduction session around the Competella Contact Center solution. We would love you to have your phone muted. And also, if you have any questions, please send them in the chat. We will have a question and answer session in the end of the webinar. And as already mentioned, the session is recorded and will be sent to you after this session. So, bing, Lars, next picture. Who am I? My name is Sofia Svensson and I am the Communication and Marketing Manager here at Competella. And I'm going to be your hostess as of today. So I will take care of the questions that you send in. With me, I also have the main speaker, which is Lars Fredstedt. I think some of you already know him and he's the head of sales for Western Europe. So next picture again, please. Just as a start, this is the agenda that we will have today during the 30 minutes. You will get an introduction of who we are and what we do. Some of you know us already, but it's sometimes good with the repetition. And you will get an overview of the Competella solution. We will, which is maybe the main part, also have a live demo of our contact center solution, and it will be a 360-degree overview in live operation with Lars. So you can see different kind of things that we have in the solution. We will also have the latest roadmap, an updated one since I think it was before Christmas. And now we updated it again. So with the things that we have released and all things that will be released soon. We'll talk about the smooth onboarding to our solution and also some of the benefits that we have with our contact center solution for Teams. And then in the end, the question that you have sent in, we will take them up and answer them as much as we can. And if we cannot answer any questions directly, we will send them in an email. And then, of course, in the end, I would love you to fill in a survey to tell us a bit what you thought about this webinar. And if there are any webinars that you would like to see in the future, please tell us and we can plan for those. So now the next picture, and I will actually hand over to Lars instead.
Thanks a lot for that, Sofia, and a very welcome to all of you. So about Competella and who we are, Competella have ever since it was founded in Stockholm, Sweden in 2009, been focusing completely on the Microsoft Unified Communication Suite and filling in the gaps within the areas of attendant console and contact center solutions. We today offer a full cloud-based suite for both the attendant console and two different kinds of contact center solutions. As part of being a cloud provider, we also offer professional services. We have in-house support for customers and partners, and we offer both partner as well as end-user training. We, as part of the Microsoft cooperation that we have together with Microsoft, we are currently in the certification program for Teams for contact centers, and as another part of that, we have also signed up for a premium support agreement that one gives a good back-to-back for both our partners and customers if issues should happen. Our customer base consists of around 700 of those, and the customers involve approximately 680,000 persons worldwide. We go to markets both and support both direct as well as indirect via our partners, and our partners are a mix of qualified system integrators as well as operators and service providers. The Competella Communication Suite for Teams consists of three main products. All of these three main products comes with quite advanced routing, but if you would like to, for instance, have skill-based routing connected to the Competella Contact Center solution, you would require the Competella IVR Express, which is an add-on to the products. The product that we are going to focus on today, it would be the Competella Contact Center Enterprise. It offers a 360-degree overview for the agents as well as other advanced features. The Competella Contact Center Workgroup is our advanced hunt group solution, and it's typically replacing the native call groups on Teams. Since it offers both the ability for the agent and supervisors to see real-time statistics and in general to access reporting and analytics, but also the ability to actually work as an agent and receive calls on any device. And that could actually be the PSTN phone number in your holiday home, if that would be the case that you have such a solution. The Competella Attendant Console is our receptionist tool. It provides a good overview of queues and agents. It has a super efficient directory search to find the best skilled person, the right department or a specific name, and see presence of users in the organizations, and then of course do a professional transfer of the call, or to send an email, for instance, in order for the colleague in the organization to call back. I will now go over to showing a live demo of the Competella Contact Center Enterprise for Teams. So what you see here is the agent Olivia Green that is logged in to the Teams client, and she needs to do that in order to access the Competella agent client, which provides a good overview. If I should shortly explain, Olivia Green is currently logged in, but is in pause mode, and she can of course change her status. She has the ability to do small changes in the interface based on what she requires. So in this case, Olivia has a good overview of all agents that are logged into these 4 queues that Olivia is a member of. I'll be doing some calls on the queue called Support English today, and we can see currently that all agents are actually in pause mode, but that's also okay, and I will try to explain why. Furthermore, when doing an outbound call, our solution supports the ability also to show the queue number when the agent dials out through the Competella interface, and of course the call is then done through Teams. What I'll do now is to place a couple of calls into the queue so that you can see how that looks. So we have the first call coming in and waiting to the queue called Support English. And of course, since all agents are currently in pause mode, no calls are actually distributed to any agents. And of course, we could have set up that it would do some kind of overflow to another destination based on this, you can say it, problem. But in pause mode, the agents actually have the ability to do a cherry pick of the call from the queue. So in a couple of seconds, the call will come in. And now I'm in a call with a phone number called, this phone number, and we can see the queue also that the call came into. Furthermore, we see the customer journey. So what the Competella solution does is to look up to the call log in Azure for this tenant. And we can see that this particular number was called by an agent called Anna Brown, actually on the 19th of October 2020. And it was last served by Olivia Green, funny enough, the same agent as we use now for demo, at 12:34 today. And this call was actually transferred to Max Lemon. Max being both an agent and of course also a Teams user, it would be possible for me to transfer the call directly to Max by just clicking on his agent's status up here and then transfer the call. So I'll actually do that. So now the call is on the way to Max as an agent, and Max, he will be picking up the call. And in the meanwhile, what we do and what I got as an agent is I'm prompted for a wrap-up code. And let's just say that this was about the CCE, the Contact Center Enterprise. What I could do now, since Max, also his team status is actually away currently, so he has already handled the other call, is to change his status to available. And then in a couple of seconds, the call will then be distributed to Max. So then the call disappears, and we can see that currently Max is busy in a call with this particular phone number, and also over here Max is apparently also busy. So that was a supervisor feature to change the status of the other agent called Max Lemon. I will go into change the status again for Max, and then change the status for Olivia, my demo agent here. So now a call is offered automatically to Olivia Green, and we can see again that the call comes in, and we can see that the call was last transferred and handled by Max Lemon at 1:38 today, and actually that it was transferred to Max. If I have a look at this, then we can also see that a note was written when this particular customer called in the last time. So it gives Olivia Green as an agent a good overview of if this is, in this case, an easy customer or maybe a difficult customer or whatever. If I would like to see further history from this particular caller, I have actually access to the customer journey log, which will come up in a second while we wait. And the demo, yeah, there it comes. So here we have actually all the calls from this particular phone number. We can see which agents have been handling it throughout the times. We can also see the category codes, meaning the wrap-up codes that was marked for the calls by this particular phone number. If I would like to do a fast transfer to Max, I could of course do that. I also have the ability, for instance, to search for skills or keywords. And then if the topic of the call was about what events are available, for instance, in January, then I can just write the first letters in January, and funny enough, Max Lemon then pops up. If I would then like to do a transfer to Max, I can do either a blind or a consult transfer, but in this case, I do a blind transfer. So moving on and giving a new wrap-up code for this previous call. Then what we could do is to move to other supervisor tools that we have available with the Contact Center Enterprise for Teams. So what we have here is the Competella Quality Monitor. It can surveillance and give a real-time overview of all types of queues that Competella has in our solutions from the cloud. If I would choose to, for instance, go available here with Olivia and also change the status for some of the other agents, then I could do that. And then voila, what we see now is that in the support English queue, we currently have 3 agents available instead of only, for instance, 1 agent that was there before. So now we have down to 2 because Olivia was made unavailable. And of course, we have different metrics that can be selected for showing for the different queues. We also monitor and do a quality of service score, and these metrics are of course deleted every 24 hours so that you have the accumulated view for the actual day that you are in. And should somebody think, do you support several time zones? The answer would be yes, of course we do. Moving further again, both seen from a supervisor and administrator point of view. We have other ways of, for instance, digging into and doing, for instance, BI on the wrap-up codes that the agents are doing and which the system is configured with. So if I go into the conversation log, which I'm doing here, then we can see that we have selected a date range from the 25th of December 2021 to the 25th of January, meaning today. If I want to see, for instance, all calls that came in with the category CCE, then I have them listed here, and I'm also able to see who called in and which agents were doing it. We're handling it, and this gives me, of course, the ability to dig into what subjects are my agents working with throughout the day, and it gives me the ability to then target my information stream to my customers, and also to coach my agents. Moving further into the logs that the Competella solution handles, the actual call logs gives me the ability also to search for particular phone numbers and then follow calls from cradle to grave. So this shows all the phone calls that was either made to this particular phone number or that came in, meaning inbound calls from this particular number. So here we see that we have an abandoned call on the 19th of January from this number. We also have an incoming call. And if I would like to drill down and see what the actual events was about, then I have a full overview and can actually follow the call from cradle to grave. It's also a good thing to have if, for instance, you get a customer complaint or similar. Further possibilities with the Competella solution is, of course, our powerful statistics tool. And in that, you can build your own reports, simply design them and save them for later purposes, also with the ability to schedule them to be sent out to email recipients on a recurrent basis. But what I'm showing you here is a traffic report. In this case, I'm not selecting any particular queue, so these are all the queues that are available on this Competella demo tenant. I'm not filtering down to specific agents either, but I'm taking all calls that have been handled by this tenant from the 1st of January to the latest dates, which in this case says December 20. Yeah, well, it can't look out into the future. That's probably something new for our development department to look into, but I don't foresee that in the roadmap one of the next days at least. So what it shows in this case are all the calls that have been answered, the calls that have been abandoned throughout a day in this time range, so this 1st of January until today. It shows how many calls was abandoned, and also it shows how many agents were logged on as an average in these hourly period of time. So we can see around lunch that we should probably have more people on the phones, as well as in the morning time, if we don't want to lose any calls. This ends my statistical overview, and we now go back to the slide where because we have namely extended the ability to do this 360-degree overview and to make it an even more powerful tool for customer services. So we have done that, for instance, with our recording solution, our cloud-based recording solution for Teams and Contact Center Enterprise agents. And it's based on a Microsoft Teams compliance API. We can do always on recording on queues. We can do it on demand or with a custom consent. And of course, if we look at privacy regulations, especially this customer consent is very important, that customers can choose if they would like to be recorded or not, or at least that they are informed that calls will be recorded. Supervisors and agents can then get access to download the recordings or listen to them. And of course, this is for assessing what the conversation was about. It can be used for coaching of agents, but of course also for compliance and documentation reasons. The CRM integration gateway for Contact Center Enterprise agents was released back in December, and the Competella cloud solution have, with the Contact Center Enterprise, been able to actually do, for instance, screen pop of CRM systems based on a number, but with this CRM integration gateway, we have taken it a step further. It is a standard and it's a standard solution for instance, Microsoft Dynamics and Salesforce. It's integrating on an app level, and it gives the possibility to do a lookup already when the call is in the queue. Show information from the CRM system in the Competella agents when the call is in the queue. And while it's in the queue, we can do another lookup to see if there are special routing, so CRM-based routing we can do with the solution, as well as we can actually do priority of the caller based on CRM data. And then when the call is answered by the agent, we do a pop-up of the CRM system to show the relevant information for the agent to give the best possible customer service. We have really been busy adding features to our cloud-based solution for Teams, and some of the nifty features that we have released for the Contact Center Enterprise is, for instance, the callback feature. So if a call is waiting in queue, we can offer them to be called back instead of wasting valuable time in the queue. The recording I've just spoken about that one. We have added the CRM integration gateway, which has also been speaking about. And lately we have also added support for external third-party cloud survey providers, that we can forward information to a cloud survey provider with, for instance, the A number, and then this cloud survey provider can send out survey forms, for instance, by email or by text, or calling, actually, even with an IVR. We are soon looking into the next drop of features for the Contact Center Enterprise, and we are looking forward to that, because this is where we are tuning our solution to have even faster call handling and doing a faster transfer of calls when you do the operation and the integration with Microsoft Teams. So looking forward to that. Other features that will be coming soon, which I know also some of our system integrator partners are looking forward to, is, for instance, the PowerShell support, which makes it possible for them to do scripting of features and functions directly into the tenant that they are serving and servicing. The Competella solution is integrated with the Extend model. So if you look into Microsoft terms, we are integrated with the Extend model. It means that the Competella solution, which is located in Azure, like Teams, that when calls come into it, that it actually never leaves the Teams environment, the Azure environment. And so we use the Graph API to do that. So for customers who do not necessarily want it, they would not require a session border controller for getting telephone lines for their Teams tenant. So Competella supports both direct routing if customers would like to have a session border controller. We support also a Microsoft calling plan, as well as the new Operator Connect, and customers who would like to use a mix of actually these three connectivity types can also be supported. It's no problem at all, since we are integrated through the Extend model. So what then, when you come to Competella or through our partners and say, I would like to onboard with the Competella solution, is that then difficult or easy? Well, we would say it's easy, since we have our automated onboarding in place. And what it does is to automatically create and register 5 apps in your Azure tenant, and that is the key to setting up the integration between the Competella cloud and the Microsoft Teams cloud, and it makes it possible for the Competella solution to do the manipulation and routing of calls inside your Teams tenant for Competella agents, that is. So some of the benefits with the Competella Contact Center solution is that it's easy to onboard and get going. We provide a 360-degree overview with the Contact Center Enterprise. So we have a good overview of agents, we have good overviews of queues, including contacts and callers waiting in line. You have good information about the customer journey, including the history of the callers, and optionally you can of course integrate with our CRM integration for Dynamics, Salesforce, or other CRM systems. And then we show, of course, provide information about internal resources, and as well as subject matter experts with Teams presence. We have statistics available to do planning. We have logs in order to drill down and analyze caller history. And then we have our conversation log subjects, these tags or wrap-up codes, in order to identify trends in your contact center about what subjects your agents are speaking to your customers about. Any further questions? Do we have any questions, Sophia?
Yes, we do. We have one question. Do you have any experience in how to work with privacy when it comes to user-specific statistics? Our data protection managers tend to say no by default when it comes to user-specific statistics.
So Competella is actually a data processor on behalf of the customer, and meaning of the company that is using the solution. So actually what we care about is, of course, to secure the data and that it's encrypted. And then for the customer in question, it's actually their concern that, of course, that they maintain within the privacy regulations. But of course, our solution provides the ability also to anonymize records, so you can search, for instance, for a particular phone number and anonymize that as well. We do, of course, have documentation about how we act as a data processor and so on, and we'll be very happy to forward that and also to go into a discussion if that is required.
So it's 1 minute left, and I will take the questions even though it might be some more over time, so to say. So here is one more. Will you be hosting your solution in Switzerland?
That is a good question. It's something that we have been discussing. It's right now. It's in Western Europe, in the Azure tenant there. But since, for instance, that Switzerland is not an internal but an external member state of the EU, it actually Switzerland actually goes actually under the same compliance regulations as the EU. But we'll be happy to discuss this with whoever is asking.
Great. So any more questions? No, of course you can send us an email. I will send the recording to you afterwards. So in that in the email you can answer and ask questions if you have any further ones, of course. So I think that is all for today then. And right now for you to do is to help us to improve. If there is any webinar that you would like to see in the future, and of course we would like to have your feedback on what you thought about this webinar, any suggestions on improvement on something you were missing, that would be great to have. So please fill in the survey that I have actually added in the chat session. And then, of course, if you want to know more about our attendant console solution, we have the same kind of webinar, but that will be an introduction session on February the 10th. So I think that was all from us. No, it was not. Of course, we have the contacts here. So here are the guys that you can actually contact if you have questions. And with that, I think I would say thanks a lot for participating. And what do you say, Lars?
Yes, thanks a lot for attending our webinar today. You're always welcome to contact me and my colleagues. We would be very pleased to help you if you have questions about how to move your contact center to the cloud. We definitely have a solution that we think could help you. Thanks.
Great. Thank you and have a nice afternoon. Bye.